is the first game.
What's good, everybody? Hope you've been blessed. Yes, sir. So before we get into this episode of yapping and gaming, I got one major announcement. I'm dropping music. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We got Before It Opens Chapter 4. It'll be releasing a day later than I actually promoted. Instead of 11/12, it'll be 11/13 on a Wednesday. Weird day to release things, but you know, who cares? There's no standard. It'll be 7 songs. And to clarify, this series has helped me further promote a project or an album that'll be coming out afterwards. All the other installments of Before It Opens, they were singles off of the album Open It Up. So with this installment, it'll stand on its own, but it will further promote anything that comes after it. So this will be very exciting for me. It's not going to close the series at all. I think Before It Opens might just be my staple thing until I get tired of using this O with the slash through it, and then I just start doing something different. Other than that, only announcement we got today. We're just gonna get straight into it. So normally I have topics and subjects off the top of my head I want to discuss with everybody. And with this episode, it's no different, actually. I thought it would be at first. I thought I was gonna wing it, but turns out I got a lot of things in my head, and I wanted to just talk about them for a little bit. Life has ups and downs, you feel me? Yeah, you can't avoid them. That's just what it is. And if I had to start anywhere with this episode today, my first topic would be grace. With this channel now being my baby for real, I've been running into creative fatigue from time to time, and I gotta make sure my heart's in it when I make this stuff. I can't just be doing it for the sake of, oh, well, I gotta make a video this week. That's lame. And that's lame. For me, some days it can be too daunting to think about content, let alone create it. And other days I'll try to create a song and I'll find myself forcing something out instead of just feeling the song out and having a good sense of identity with what the song will be, even if it's not even if I don't have the first note, you know, like just knowing somewhat what it's gonna sound like, feel like, all that stuff. So for me, it's a very jarring feeling not wanting to create, because art and music are my earthly passions, you know. It's what keeps me grounded, it's what keeps me away from retaining any bad habits, thoughts, and emotions, because I get them out through content, through music. And for me, it's like pseudo-therapy, if you will. So to combat whatever anxiety, stress, and worry I get from creating, I first pray. It not only further grounds me, but it also elevates me at the same time. I get myself in the right mental and emotional space, and I isolate myself, and I just jump into prayer. I think about the words that I'm saying, because the sacred ground you pray. You don't just pray to nobody. So that helps me a lot. Helps me get into the groove, so to speak. But since life has ups and downs, there are days where no matter what you do, no matter how you go about it, how you approach it, you just can't do it. Even when your inner monologue is screaming at you like, yo, you gotta get started on whatever you gotta get started on. Go. Just do it. Don't be afraid. You just tell yourself you can't. Or you tell that inner monologue, okay, no. You just can't for whatever reason. And because of days like that, that's why I have to give myself grace. The church I've been live streaming every Sunday, they're called Triangle Church, by the way, just to inform anybody. They've done wonders for me so far for my spiritual formation, and their teachings on why self-grace is vital for growth, healing, and acceptance is pivotal. It's been very pivotal for my life lately. Grace confronts, it convicts, and then it comforts. It isn't an easy process at times to look inside yourself, and regardless of how you feel, regardless of how you look when you see yourself in the mirror, regardless of any actions that you have done, will do, or are currently doing, it's hard to look at yourself inside and tell yourself it's okay if you fell short this time, and you forgive yourself, and you actively aim to do better with not only your actions, but your words and your thoughts. It's more difficult than I can really express with words, and that's really why I make music. I've been learning self-grace way more than ever this year in my life, because I used to be extremely hard on myself, And I believe it helped me back tremendously. Thinking too hard on what I didn't take care of, not giving myself any real pat on the back, and looking at myself and comparing myself to other people. It's just not healthy. Long term, you're not going to get anything done. I can't make music that way, let alone make content that's good and heartfelt and something that somebody would want to watch, let alone me. I can watch my slop, but I'm not going to send slop to YouTube. We don't do that. You know, that's lame. And that's why it really took me years to get into the rhythm that I have now. I'm learning a lot to love myself despite whatever flaws I may have. And I'm aiming to be as objective as I can with myself, but fair and understanding. And usually that comes through with me yapping it up with my roommates about our lives and our past and, you know, like our deepest, darkest secrets. And we get into the nitty gritty. I say it goofy, but it's real. You just gotta let go, drop the curtain, speak up sometimes, and get it out of your system, and then keep moving forward. Because moving forward is one of the most difficult things you could do. It's probably the most difficult thing you could do, because it's so easy to tell yourself, I don't feel like doing anything anymore. And this year has been the most eye-opening year for me in my life. And I felt more progressive than ever in my life. Not only because I am now a fully grown, independent adult at 23, not 25. We're gonna get there, because that's when the brain fully develops. But regardless, knowing life will only present me with more challenges, it can fill me with anxiety. I won't lie. So I have to tell myself to push forward. And it's the biggest part of my journey. And I can't do that if I don't give myself enough grace. It all comes back to grace for me. It's okay to rest. It's okay to get some water, get some food, and come back to whatever you've been working on, and come back to thoughts and come back to emotions. It's okay to give yourself a break. And the idea of not giving myself a break mentally is something that I used to struggle with monumentally. Time is of the essence, however, and slacking off is not relaxing. And having to keep a good sense of urgency and responsibility to keep you moving is also very integral to not only making content, making music, making art, but everyday life. You know, like it already takes enough for people to get out of the bed and walk from one spot of their house to the next, if they even have a home. You know, some people wake up and they don't, because I put everything into perspective that way sometimes. Nobody wants to hear, oh, our kids are starving in Africa, but, you know, sometimes you need to hear it. It really helps you ground yourself and give yourself more grace. And by extension, giving other people grace, because even though you may not be going through it, you're empathetic enough to understand that they're trying their best. Anyone out here, I believe, is trying their best. People are trying. Harder times than ever financially. And with those types of situations happening with people, let alone the wars, the sicknesses, etc., etc. Grace is something that more people need, in my opinion. Something that God gives. It's a gift. And I want to extend that gift to anyone out here as best I can. I feel like this is my way of doing it. And that's why my ambition is so high. And even on my worst days, my absolute worst, I plan for and think about music or content. It's a wheel that never stops turning in my head. And finding the strength and courage to act on that ambition is what led me to YouTube. It took forever. I was always super hesitant and really found myself unappealing to the point where I couldn't talk in front of a microphone and record it and save it and then put it on a video and then just release it. I couldn't even do that. It takes a lot to get this feeling of confidence in. Okay, even if you're not confident, you feel just confident enough to attempt it. And the freedom to express myself with the intention to bless and either aid or soothe other people around the world is the drive for me. I will never forget that YouTube's old slogan was broadcast yourself. And I'm taking that to heart. every time I think about YouTube and every time I really make my content, those words ring in my head. Because it's the simplest way to express what we're all doing on YouTube as YouTubers. At least, that's what I really think YouTube's for. Broadcast yourself however you can. I'm thinking of my past selves from my childhood to now and making content that any version of myself would and should enjoy. And music and content for me is the ultimate self-love letter. And it also serves as an introduction to my world. Because art to me is when a person or people share a part of their world to the real world. And that's why I'm big on my lore. I think everybody's lore is important. Whatever it looks like, however you decide to showcase your lore and expand upon it is your life. And that's why I think art is so beautiful. And granted, I need to update my lore. I need to go to my website. I have to really sit down and plan out how I'm going to represent Open Up, because it's 44 tracks on all main platforms, but it's 55 on the Bandcamp edition, and I'm thinking about expanding it. And what I'm thinking about doing is adding, before it opens, chapter 4. I'm just gonna add that to the Bandcamp edition, right? Make it a separate thing. Make it part of it, not separate. Sorry. That way, it feels like a complete, cohesive book. You know, it'll be 60 plus songs. It's perfect for me. I will never make an album this big again. Let me preface that. I will not. That is massive. It's a lot to work with. But anyways, enough yapping. Moving on. My goal is to strive for consistency and transparency with anybody watching and myself. I personally want to flourish into the next version of myself, and I believe my life is headed in that direction faster than ever. It's sometimes scary. It's sometimes terrifying. Help me! And it's sometimes anxiety-ridden. And sometimes I just get stuck in my own head about all the things that are looking up in my future. From job opportunities to college to where I'll be living in the next few years. Just, you know, normal life things, I guess. And I want to destroy and rebuild myself stronger, smarter, more confident, and better than ever. Despite whatever life throws at me. Despite whatever my circumstances are. I want to continue to move forward. Each day, in some way, I pray for those things. And I know in my heart that I'm capable of whatever I put my mind to through Christ, who strengthens me. And today may not be so yap-filled, you know? Like, I just want to make sure that I pray for all who watch and who aren't watching. I pray that you will be blessed. I pray that you are strengthened. I pray that you are filled with energy to overcome any obstacles that you specifically are facing. And pray for y'all to stay healthy. Thank you for watching up to this point if you've made it this far with me. And with that being said, we got episode 3 coming up. I'm finna record episode 3 gameplay tonight. And we finna get started. You know, like, we're moving our skater. He's gonna go to downtown, y'all. Downtown California. As quickly as possible. And we got a skating competition to win. For anybody that knows Tony Hawk's American Wasteland, if you know downtown, it's like one of the funniest levels to just be in. Because the characters that they introduce in that level are goofy. They don't care at that point. They just have you start doing crazy crap. You're messing up the city. You got cars being thrown into walls and blowing up. And you'll see what I mean. All of you will see what I mean. It'll be a very good time.
Oh my gosh.
It'll be fun. I love the game. I love doing the content. I love the music that I've been making lately. I love y'all. I love me. I love God. Cool. With all that being said, Roshio, ow! 4 a.m. The video done, you know? I just got done editing this at this time of recording this. So I still hope y'all stay blessed. Stay very blessed. I'm going to go get some sleep. Well deserved. Good night.